I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore.
You literally could just throw.
Nodal bought a frozen pizza that he doesn't approve of.
For the past 5 minutes, I've been just thinking about running a campaign where it's all about flipping like castles and houses.
No, it's great.
That sounds like a great idea.
So
That sounds like a good business sideline.
So last session,
all of our D&D ideas from Home and Garden Television. Yes.
Last session, McDohl invented Warlock insurance.
I did.
We're gonna turn that dungeon into a sunshine-chin.
That is now the worst ad copy I've ever heard.
Oh, ouch. I'm now.
So who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into last week?
Can we just say Warlock? Can we just say Warlock?
Insurance?
Can we say that 50 times?
You can, but that doesn't describe all the trouble you got into. That's just part of the trouble you got into.
I don't remember anything else. Like he washed everything else away, and like he beat us at D&D. Lucius won D&D that day. I have nothing else to say.
My notes say that one of you got billed for a broken desk.
Did that happen last session?
That happened last session. Yes, you slammed your hammer into a very petty gnome's desk, and really embarrassed Destil's character in front of his dad.
I'm imagining a great.
No, I wouldn't say I was embarrassed.
Did it make your character happy that happened?
Surprised more than anything.
Let's see. We potentially saved the soul of the man.
Potentially.
Very potentially.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Saving him?
Yeah.
We were attacked by a leech man because of a misbegotten prank.
I mean, this wasn't any leech man though.
It was Larry Leachman.
Like, listen, it's not my fault that Florian hired when I said go get us like a young street tough, he went and got like a big burly man that was easily turned into leeches.
Flumph investigations. It's not our fault.
Do you expect Florian then, while he's out doing official Flumph Inc. duties, to be able to ascertain just using eyesight? That's really distracting typing, by the way. Just with eyesight, who is more easily turned into leeches and who isn't?
The rest of you guys don't do that? Wait, did you say you expect Florian to do that? Because I do.
Because Gus just blamed Florian for this.
That does sound like something Florian should be pretty good at.
So Florian, you are now going to be required to judge on eyesight, like have some metric by which a person is more or less easily turned into leeches.
Funny thing is, I have proficiency in that skill, as it turns out.
Proficiency in leech.
In leech.
Proficiency in leeches.
Proficiency in leech conversion.
Leech volumization.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, all I've got is a proficiency in a leech converters kit.
So you can come at it from the other angle.
Yeah, I just get so many tool proficiencies. I gotta throw one somewhere.
So Alexander is proficient in being able to look at a leech and has some metric by which to ascertain whether that leech is more or less easily turned into a person.
Yep. That sums him up pretty much.
All right.
How much did that degree cost? Or was that just a couple credits?
Yeah, that was just a couple credits. That was my minor.
Yeah.
That was just like a certificate he picked up along the way.
Ow.
If you go down like the old DeVry VHSs, he has all of those degrees.
Well, I definitely have gun repair.
Are you serious about success?
Television repair.
Major business management or accounting.
So anybody who has like surely it's not a degree. Surely it's like a certificate of television repair or some kind.
So I think I've actually got that wrong, because I think it's even dumber. I'm pretty sure it was VHS repair.
TV and VCR repair is how I remember it being phrased.
Yeah.
There's no possible way that you can hire somebody to repair a TV nowadays that is less expensive than just replacing the TV.
This is like It's like, yeah, I worked at Blockbuster Video when I was in high school.
Gross.
It's
Can you
like
imagine
VHS
popping up-
repair. I can fix a VHS.
I drove a horse and buggy.
So I'm just remembering that picture of like where the Blockbuster was, and it says like time passes, but the scars remain.
One
Just
other
out-
kind of important thing happened last week towards the end of the session.
Oh yeah, there's a Tasmanian devil or something in a cage on the boat.
Right.
Right.
We just kind of pushed the cage into a corner and put that that sound dampening thing over it.
We put that corner out of our mind.
No, that's the thing we do need to deal with, though. It's
Like, I wanted to throw it in the ocean. Nobody would let me.
And there's another
we're
lead.
awful people, but we're not monsters. Come on now.
There's
It's a
another
literal
lead that
monster.
you guys had uncovered, but I haven't heard anybody mention yet.
What's her name? Warlock Bane? Is that
No,
it?
it was the thing that Nodal talked to the guy about, the place where all the monsters were showing up.
Mm.
I don't know. I wasn't in that
It's
scene.
the Choreo Fireblood thing.
Yeah.
No, it was a like
No,
house something or other in some dock area. I don't know.
The place where he got the items. Where the rich man got the items.
Where they're
correct?
storing them in the warehouse, right? Am I remembering that right, Brickard? Don't torture me. He's storing things in the warehouse there.
Something stored at Indriliok Manor,
That's what it was.
is
Juliet,
where
yeah.
the sails and the fireboxes
Do we need
were
the white
stored.
orb to get into that one?
We also have another line on work. If someone wants to put in the Xanathar's work time to find a buyer for that sale.
Okay.
No,
I have a question and an idea on that. So, and this is like
All right, let's hear the idea first.
we have an intern. Let's have him do it.
That's not going to get us good
That's
results.
not gonna fly. No.
But we also don't have the week to do it. Really.
That's why I positioned ourselves in such a way that even if we decide not to do it, we're fine.
Then we hold on to it until our business is solvent, and we have a little bit of time to do it, which our business is not solvent yet.
wait.
A business can be solvent?
I've got actually a thought on this.
Mhm.
12,000 gold pieces for 2 sales that have pretty minor, like 10 seconds of magic on them. We're not getting 12,000 gold pieces.
No.
Absolutely
We're not going to make the full 10% commission. Give them the sales, take the 5% and leave.
That's my thought. That was why I was just like, oh no. No, having to sell it, I guess we'll give you a half discount. Because I was just like, let's just give them the sale and get out of this problem.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I figured that's
Insane.
what we would end up doing it, but I was like, we could also just take the week and have Kevin try.
No, that's.
I don't
not-
trust
not-
him, Kevin.
Like Kevin is plucky, but that's about all he's got for him right now.
I think if we did that, we would end up with Kevin getting kidnapped and have to rescue him.
Kevin gets us coffee, and we all agree we're not going to ask where the coffee comes from.
Okay.
This is mostly because Alexander keeps fiddling with the coffee maker, isn't it?
Like listen, just because the coffee, like I woke up one morning and my coffee was like spewing tongues at me, it's fine. It still went down smooth.
Look, it's way better if you just get the water from the elemental plane of water rather than trying to pull it out of the bay.
I think you guys
I
are
get-
being at least a little inconsiderate right now, because there's a line that every player has where they can't roleplay across. Like, that's just too disturbing for them. I think implying that McDohl will play a character that doesn't care where his coffee comes from is very upsetting to him, and he's just too polite to say anything.
Considering it's Florian absolutely would be the snooty coffee person.
My go-to plan for the coffee is I get my coffee from Kevin, and I get my coffee additives from Drunk Gus. And by the end of it, I'm not too worried about where the coffee came from.
The actual answer is that Kevin gets the beans from a reputable source, but lacking a grinder, he chews them all up himself.
You know, they make you pay extra for that at some places.
Yep.
Alright, so let's pick things up. The morning of the 23rd.
Gets all the acidity out.
How many days are in a month?
aren't we? 24, right?
Tomorrow's the 24th, and that's the last day of the month.
Okay, 24 days in a month. Gotcha.
Are months consistent?
Yeah, I just put 24 days in each one.
Good. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Nice God-fearing number.
None of this Gregorian horse shit.
Who's Gregory anyway?
What has he done for us?
He made our calendar. What do you mean, what has he done for us?
He did a bad job.
It was what, like 14th century? I don't actually know.
F
These
minus
have 30, these
minus.
have 31. And this special one has sometimes 28 and sometimes 29. You'll never know. Fuck off.
What do you mean you never know? There are like very simple rules to know what years it has 28 and 20. There's like 3 rules.
No, there isn't. There absolutely isn't. Nope.
Listen, the 11th month is named November, and the 12th month is named December. He did
Yeah.
a bad job.
No, they did that because some asshole like Emperor.
Please
Rome
read the patch
decided-
notes.
Like he put his name in the middle there.
You know, for all his failings, said Emperor was also in charge of fixing the calendar. For like, that was literally his actual day job when he wasn't toppling republics, and he was really pissed about things. So I think he deserves that one. Like, he got back to Rome after some number of ridiculous conquests. Like, motherfucker, we're 2 months off.
I'm just saying, he could have fixed it by putting 2 months on the end of the year.
Yeah, well,
But summer months are better.
So, hi everybody. Welcome to this video game.
Let's start collecting some morning actions. Morning of the 23rd. What is Gus doing?
Gus is getting up earlier than normal, and he's going to collect some papers that he has. Then he's going to go down to the harbors, and he's just going to go kind of like if there's like any like notice boards or whatever, he's going to put these up. These are like just pictures. They're like just sketch pictures of the people of a couple of the people he was traveling with on the boat, and like, have you seen me? Kind
Why?
of situation.
I'm confused with what's happening right now.
He's just something like he's done every like once a month since he came here. It's like
Okay.
he goes and he puts up a picture, like he's just putting up like basically a lost and found picture of the people that like fell off the boat.
This is an end of the month Gus task, is what you're telling us.
Yes, yeah.
This implies that at some point during the month he just sadly sits by himself in his room drawing pictures of people who are dead now.
No. He paid somebody to draw the pictures.
How much did he pay them?
I have.
I mean, you're thinking like, oh, I can go on Twitter and commission an artist for $5 to do a quick sketch. This is highly skilled work in this city. Just the cost of the paper and the ink is not negligible. So what I'm asking is, how much a month does Gus spend on this expense to source these materials and hire an artist?
Well,
make
like
these
he's only
bills?
putting up like 2 or 3 like 2 flyers per harbor, so 2.
Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6.
Not
8.
South Harbor, just the east, west, and high courts. Just those 3.
Not in Wharftown?
Oh yeah, in Wharftown, 8. That's a good one. I
Okay.
missed that one. And I mean, he'll spend what he has to spend, but I don't really have a good grasp of how much this would actually cost.
All right, take the price of 8 pieces of parchment and a vial of ink from the player's handbook and triple it for services rendered.
Okay.
And we can call this a monthly expense for Gus.
I mean, like I don't owe any deeds. I just knocked everything off of my desk. Oh my god.
so parchment is
didn't-
pretty cheap. Ink is exorbitantly expensive.
Yeah?
Yep.
And?
And that I need to figure out how to get this jug to set to ink.
How much can I is paint in there? Can we do like paint instead? Is paint cheaper?
I doubt it.
Paint will involve like dyes and shit.
And depending on the color, it's prohibitively expensive. There's a reason purple was considered...
Surely he doesn't have to use a whole vial of ink every month, though.
No, but
Instead
I'm
of-
charging him
instead
for
of
it.
ink- Instead of ink, can it be like a charcoal drawing?
Sure.
Okay.
It's just less good.
Why
But
don't
I
you
still
pay
have to pay for the ink.
Why don't you pay a skilled laborer one day? Would that
Here-
work?
It would, but skilled
What's the
labor
margin?
is not going to supply his own materials for this.
Plus the
can't
parchment
find-
and charcoal. Charcoal we can get.
How many months in a row have you done this, Gus?
3 because he didn't have any money when he came in.
Make a wisdom check. Just make a wisdom check and just notate the number for now. What is Florian doing this morning?
Florian wants to figure out what the deal is with this creature thing that what's his name left with us.
Okay.
So he's gonna go visit the warlock whose name I can't remember.
Warlock Spain.
Thank you, Warlock Spain. Like Wizard's Tale. No, it's not that. It's not.
Okay. What
Wizard's
is Lucius?
Lucius is gonna go with Florian to go visit Warlock Spain. Actually, no. Lucius was gonna stay back at the ship to keep an eye on this Tasmanian devil, because Lucius doesn't trust leaving this thing alone, even if it is caged.
Alexander.
Warlock insurance.
You're gonna do some work this morning?
Someone's gotta make up for the 200-something gold we lost on those expenses.
All right. And what about Seeker?
You're gonna hold that grudge. You're gonna grind that axe, aren't you?
Seeker's going to go talk to the person who he sold the sail to. Say, we found the sail. How do you want to collect it? And when will you be providing our gold?
He had a money. I thought he gave you half the gold already.
He did.
He gave you 300 and was going to give you 300 more.
Yep.
Okay.
What the heck is this?
I'm just imagining Gus trying to get down costs by doing an art swap, but he got back a bunch of furry art.
I'm imagining Gus goes to hire these people and saying he's going to pay them in exposure. Like, yeah, but your thing's going to be hung up on a post.
And then he just doesn't know what exposure is, so he just kind of strips naked?
Yeah, he just drops his trowel.
Depending on the artist, that sounds like a valid method of payment.
Yeah,
I've met some artists.
Oh, here we go.
Just give me some artwork and I'll hang dong. Gus, what was the wisdom check?
An 8.
An 8.
he
Excellent.
doesn't hang dog very well.
Let's be honest. Don't take any wisdom to hang dong.
That's a charisma check.
Constitution, I think.
Florian.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do you last because you're the only person doing anything interesting.
I'm
Seeker.
flattered, Brett.
Yeah.
Are you taking the sails with you and bringing them back to this guy?
Oh yeah. If it's easily able to be carried, sure.
Make an insight check.
You got it. That is a 15.
And as I recall, you didn't tell him, hey, we have your sails. You told him
No,
we're going to
no,
track.
absolutely not.
So he thinks you tracked these down and brought them back to his house within the span of, what, 2 days?
It's been 2 days, yeah.
He
But
does.
it literally took us about that much time.
He seems very impressed at the fast turnaround. He has no idea, and he does pay you, by the way. He gives you the remaining balance. But you can tell he has no idea what to do with these now that he has them. But he's trying very, very hard not to project himself as somebody who has no idea what to do with these things now that he has them.
So, Seeker trying to kind of like give him a good story along with his thing is going to tell him about the story of how he tracked him down over the course of like going through this dungeon. There's this pig man and such.
Okay.
And Seeker's going to tell him, you know, it was thanks in part to your funding that we were able to take down this guy trying to blow up the city. Maybe you can use that. Probably a lot of people would be interested in helping the savior of this town.
Not sure that he's following you. But again, he's trying very hard to make it like he's nodding and smiling and making it look like this is a good course of action, like you're giving him good counsel.
Yeah. Seeker's essentially giving him very Seeker advice, namely, hey, even if you don't get this money back from these sales, you can probably suck up the price, but in order to get your part of it, present yourself as, hey, we tracked down this guy because of me, found these sales. Give it a good story.
I thought your
People
name
love
was.
a good story.
I thought your name was Jeff.
My name is Jeff. Well, I mean, no, my name is Seeker in the Dark.
Right. Alexander, what was the result of your working for the day? Or for the
I
morning?
haven't rolled it yet.
Okay.
$17, so... be...
Honestly, Brick, I'm offended you would think Seeker would break character like that.
7 silver, I guess.
Okay. What was the chances of a complication happening?
Do you want me to roll the complication, or I think it's 10%, right?
Sure. Let's see if you can land on the 10%.
10% sounds right.
Metal die is 10's 10. It's 60, 70, or 60, sorry.
Okay, so you're fine. And you made some money, and that brings us to Florian. I don't have immigrant.com open, so I have access to none of my maps.
Oh, but we need those maps.
I'll just draw one for you.
I hear that costs like 6 gold.
You're going to end up with furry art. Are you going to make that sound the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
Sound effect of Florian drawing.
Oh, I don't have a map for this area of Dunfoss anyway, so I'll just zoom in on it.
West Harbor?
Going to visit Warlock's Bane at her manor house in West Harbor, up against the wall. The main outer curtain wall of the city. And she's out working her garden, like she was the first time you encountered her. She stands up, pulls off some heavy gloves, and sets them aside, welcomes you in, opens up the gate for you.
Florian greets her. We got the gift for we got the present you left us last night. I guess this would be yesterday.
She frowns and says that creature is no gift.
There were some questions as to this particular creature. Where did you find it?
She says she found it in the course of her investigations, looking into this flying pig malarkey. That this creature is some sort of devil used as a scout or a messenger by the entity that she was investigating. She thought maybe you could have more luck than she would. She's especially adept at hunting down and killing these creatures, but actually interrogating them or getting useful information out of them about who they serve or where they belong is not her forte. She thought she would leave that to the experts.
And Florian nods and says, "We've tried communicating with it, but it only seems to respond to abyssal, and even then, it just seems to recoil when we do."
Do you say abyssal, or did you mean to say infernal?
I meant to say infernal.
I take it as a personal slight that I ran you guys through 2 years of Planescape, and you still don't know the difference.
I'm never going to know the difference. It's always going to be scrambled in my head. You just have to figure out what I'm trying to say. There's just nothing you can do about it because
I'm powerless to do anything.
Yeah, you've got like 35 years of work to undo.
This is the most important aspect of Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna have to stop everything. There's gonna be a quiz.
How many hats are in the abyss?
The abyss has no closets. She says she has full confidence and faith that you will manage to crack this puzzle. She didn't expect any results right away. Of course, if you ever grow tired of the thing or consider the task to be futile, you can always just kill it.
Yes, Gus seems very excited at the notion of killing it. He has devised several torturous ways to do so.
What?
Yes, you have. Don't lie. There's video evidence.
She says that there's no particular reason to engage in torture. If you decide to kill it, you might as well just be done with it.
Well, I'm not sure Gus realizes that doing something like, we'll just let it throw it overboard and let it drown to death is... Anyway.
She's not even sure if the thing breathes. It might have gills for all she knows.
Oh, that's a very good point, and we have not considered that.
She would recommend using a sword or a hammer if you're going to go about killing it.
Oh, I'm sure Gus would be more than thrilled.
She tells you many people would think fire, but you can never take that for granted when it comes to infernal creatures.
And we're on a boat, and we should probably control the flames.
Does Florian use air quotes whenever he says he lives on a boat? Like he lives on a boat?
No. She found it in the course of her investigation. How much does she know about the flying pig? And Florian asks, how much have you heard about the flying pig and the notes that he's been leaving behind? And
very little, just what you guys have told him. Her expertise lies in finding this specific type of creature and killing it.
What is this specific type of creature? Is that the scouts you were referring to, or is that some sort of...
Fiends, devils, demons, and the like. Other creatures of the various hells.
Just in case you don't remember for cross sessions, I remember when you came up with this plan last session, you wanted to tell her that her house was going to get blown up.
I did?
I
That
probably
seems
wanted to
fairly
tell her that.
pertinent. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I was misremembering. My bad.
Did you tell that to the party? Because I don't...
Yeah, I would have told everyone that that's where the tunnel would have led up to.
Okay. In that case, Florian also explains that in the course of their investigations into the flying pig creature that they came across the tunnel and the explosions, and it seemed to...
That would look something like this red line here.
Oh.
Coming across broken wall, underneath the wall, underneath Warlock's Bane's house, which is one of these houses against the wall back here.
Oh, I thought it was against this wall for some reason.
Nope, the outer
Okay.
wall.
Gotcha.
This isn't a wall, this
yeah.
is a bridge linking two parts of the Temple District.
And so Florian would then absolutely go into detail about how in the course of their investigations they found setup for explosives and the contracts with the dragon powder and basically most of the discoveries up until this date and how it all seems to come together at her house.
And she seemed a little surprised at the revelation, but she composes herself. She says, it seems like our enemies know quite a bit about my capabilities already. If they're seeking to eliminate me. Was that the intention?
Yes, I think so. Particularly since we seem to have also gotten his attention now, since he is also trying to attempt to destroy us.
She asks just how much dragon powder they were thinking to procure.
It was a
decent
sizable amount. And that's what started all of this. Was one of our clients came to us and was unsure about the contract that he received about fulfilling this order of dragon powder.
She thanks you for informing her, and then quickly stoops down picks up her gloves, and tells you that she has important work to tend to now. And kind of brusquely takes her leave and strides quickly back up to the manor.
You're not hiding anything from us, are you? With Warlock's band? Right.
She tells you that she couldn't burden you with the many things that she has to hide before heading into the manor.
I guess we will leave it cryptically at that. My colleagues may come around later again with more questions, but I will thank you for your time.
Florian hates it when other people are cryptic.
And you're kind of standing there quizzically alone in her garden with the gate open. Azalea is half planted.
Alright, yeah, Florian will go back to that large.
Okay.
Hey, Brickrod.
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question for you. I would like to cast Comprehend Languages while I'm hanging around with this thingy.
Okay, you do that.
Is it still communicating? Is it communicating like intelligibly at all?
It's not communicating at all. The thing doesn't have a spoken language.
Okay.
And so you all arrive back at the barge after a good morning's work.
I'll give our 300 gold to our accountant.
Okay.
Could you please mark off that expense for me as well?
How much was yours?
I think it was like 30 gold and like
No.
8 silver.
For what?
Did I already turn in the 70 gold that I got from?
No,
For
it's on,
ink?
it's in your personal
You're using charcoal,
wealth
not
right
ink.
now.
Oh, charcoal. Okay.
Well, then I
So-
would have done that. I would have done that.
How much am I knocking off, Gus?
I don't. Charcoal doesn't have a. Price.
It probably doesn't have a price because it's so common.
Right. So
Don't worry
just,
about the charcoal. Just the,
right. So just like, okay, then I can pay for it with the money I have on me. Then that's
Okay.
cool.
And I should put the 70 from Lucius's pocket into the party fund?
Yeah. 76. Yeah.
All 76, okay.
All right, what's next?
Alexander heads down to his lab pretty much immediately.
For the afternoon?
Yeah.
What is Gus doing this afternoon?
I really don't want to do the Warlock insurance thing. I feel like that just would just like.
You feel like it's giving up.
I feel like it's giving up.
We're gonna get to the point in this campaign where all 5 of you just take Warlock insurance as an action every single day.
I'm actually building and then selling boxes.
Can like I go?
Should we as a group go and investigate this place that...
Oh,
Seeker,
yeah,
I see-
that's-
did you share that with us, Seeker?
Yep, because
Which place was this? Interlock?
Yeah, I think Gus. If somebody will go with Gus, so he's not by himself, in case I get attacked. And
I have a question for Brick. Would visiting Journey during when she's like speaking to everyone be evening or like night act? Or, like what kind of action is that? Is that afternoon or evening?
Either one.
Okay, then I don't mind going with Gus. I'll go visit Journey in the evening.
yeah, we'll go scope out this building, I guess.
So, after, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, there's a lot of noise coming from Alex's lab. And he comes upstairs, and following him is a mechanical giant metal badger.
Why?
Why not?
This is Dunlarth. I finally finished him.
What does Dunlarth translate to?
Scrappy. You can just call him Scrappy. That's what the best translation in common. Maybe a
He's
little
made
bit
out of
closer
scrap?
is
Yeah.
Garbage Friend might be a little bit closer, but Scrappy is what I'll probably be calling him.
This is garbage, Fred.
Garbage friend.
Alex also, obviously, he's been doing a lot of work on modifying his crossbow. There's a number of extra tubes and a reservoir built into the stock now, and he has a couple of extra accoutrements like strapped to his arm at this point.
So, like, what can Trashy do for us?
I mean, he's probably pretty decent in a fight in a pinch.
Sure.
I invested him with some alchemical components. He could repair pretty much any broken object.
And Secret looks over side-eyed at Kevin, thinking, what is he doing that now then? But then looks back towards, that sounds good.
That's mostly it. I'm thinking maybe if I get some saddlebags, carry some stuff, or I could maybe even get a saddle. I mean, big enough for you or me to ride, Seeker. Pretty fast, too.
Could you carry a saddle in a saddlebag?
No, that's not allowed.
It's like putting a bag into a bag.
Because then that saddle could have a saddlebag on it, which could be holding another saddle with it. So just the laws of physics don't allow it.
What happens when you put a bag of holding in another bag of holding?
There's actually an answer to
find
that
that
question.
Yeah, I know. That's what I know there's an answer to that.
Seeker's very impressed, by the way, with your show of gnomish ingenuity.
So this didn't take a full afternoon action to build this little scrappy-doo monster?
This is leveling up,
Okay.
effectively.
So what is Alex doing this afternoon?
So clearly, you can also clearly tell that a lot of the metal from this thing came from the chain that he had poor Gus drag out of the dungeon. Like, probably most of the chest cavity is two large chain links welded together. I'm gonna go with these two jokers and explore this place.
Florian
yeah.
and Lucius, is everybody going?
What about the creature?
You're more than willing to deal with the creature if you want.
If the creature's
What
in a
did Warlock's
cage
bane
with a
say,
blanket
Florian?
over him.
Florian was, unless everyone is going to this place, Florian was actually going to start hanging out with the creature.
You're gonna be friends with it?
Gonna try.
Alright.
It doesn't understand any spoken languages, so I don't know what you're gonna think. I don't know what you're thinking to do. I mean,
Well, neither does a
can.
dog.
Well, I mean, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, right?
So if you get to know it really well.
If this is before like Seeker and I leave, can I just stab it? Like, let's just get this over with.
Please
We'll
do
have
not stab it.
We'll have Kevin clean up the blood.
Does getting to know something inherently make it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Better for you anyway.
Florian,
Makes sense.
just report back to me what you find out if you're able to find out anything.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I did what I could this morning, but I still feel like I'm.
And
Not-
Florian has told everyone about what happened with Warlock's band
Okay.
this morning. Really clear.
I think she's keeping something under her house.
She's definitely keeping something under her house. We saw it. It's an armory.
Yeah, but I think she's keeping something else under her house that she didn't show us.
Something
Like-
under the something under her house.
Like
right,
she's got,
because no one expects a secret armory under the secret armory.
Did you ask her where she found this thing?
Yeah. She said it was in the
And-
course of her investigation.
that's
Okay.
incredibly vague.
That's not helpful at all. In the very least. You didn't
I
press
found it
her
in the
on
bar.
You know what? I actually didn't think about the fact that she might like, what if she has like, I don't know, an archdemon or something sealed underneath her house, and they were trying to crack it free with the explosions.
Right?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, she's only a priest of the
She
god
would-
of chaining uncontainable demons.
She
All I
would
wa-
not go into more detail.
All I want you to know, Seeker, is that I did not consider that absolutely terrifying, like thing until you said it, and my nightmares thank you.
You are welcome to go ask her your questions yourself, but I have a feeling she's going to be as
Cagey.
obstinate as she was with me.
I've already got something if she wants to talk to me.
So everybody's going to the manor except for Florian, is that correct?
Oh, no, Florian does not want to be the only one not going to the manor.
So you are going to the manor.
Florian's coming to the manor. Let's go.
I thought you were gonna play with this creature.
He's not going to be the only one not going to the manor.
That sounds like a sensible option to me.
Yep.
And I, for one, welcome Florian to come with us.
Yep.
See,
There are throughout the city of Dunfoss, here and there you do find some just old, dilapidated manor houses that are uninhabited, but nobody has thought to try to renovate or rebuild. A lot of the times, these kind of houses, they just kind of fall to ruin as people kind of scavenge materials from them in order to build elsewhere. This particular manor house stands at the southern edges of Silver Bluffs, near to the wall that overlooks the cliffs. In kind of just a forgotten little out-of-the-way corner, in a place where there's few residences and no shops to speak of, in the shadow of the plateau upon which sits the Temple District.
Alright, so what's our angle? How are we getting in there?
Is this place even occupied? It sounded like it was more or less a flop house.
Looking at it
Like
from
a
the outside,
warehouse.
the manor house itself sits back from the road, as many houses are wont to do. And there is a fence of iron pikes, badly rusted and broken in some places, that runs from the plateau where it's built into out to the front of the road, with an old rusty gate hanging halfway off of its hinges. The garden is completely overgrown, and I'll let somebody make a survival check.
I think I'm good at these. Oh, I'm not bad at them.
I'm terrible. I'm a rich boy. I'm a rich city boy. What do you expect of me?
What do we roll?
Survival. If you got it.
Survival.
No, just one of you.
Oh, okay.
That would be an 8 for me.
An 8. Looking up the house, it does look completely uninhabited. In fact, looking at the path that would have led from the garden gate up to the doors of the manor is completely overgrown with weeds and tall grasses on either side. In fact, there's very little remnants of the bushes or topiary or anything that might have been planted here at one point.
The angle seekers that were hired to do Warlock Spain insurance, and we have no idea why or by whom. We just got a list of credit, enough money to do it for 3 days for the entire team, and this address.
Warlock's
good to me.
Bane insurance?
Sorry,
Warlock's insurance.
I mean, okay.
Warlock's Bane
we-
insurance is a much higher price point.
We can't do the Warlock's Bane insurance because that would be muscling in on somebody else's territory, like naming. Like we could go to court for that.
Could I get an icon for Scrappy? Should I pick a video game character brick if he's going to be like a kind of omnipersistent pet, or should I just use a token?
I mean, can I just kill him?
I mean, you can, but I can fix him.
How many times do I need to kill him? Are we going to be on Scrappy 24 by the end of the campaign?
I can literally fix him as an action.
Destil.
I can make a thing for him if you want.
Destil, I have to know. Did you
Yeah.
go with Scrappy because of the Scooby-Doo connotations?
No, it's a pun,
I get it's a pun.
but it's two puns.
Did he pick that
It
pun?
was also kind of a joke about the word my father was using for Gus last week of trash friend or trash associate.
So
Dustin's
for now we'll use this
Dustin's good at
orange.
Spin Doctor.
Cool.
Like, I just want you to know. that
You might have to make it visible or through fog of war or something, because I don't see an orange, whatever.
You have.
Yep,
you have-
now I see it.
Oh no, not revealer. That's not what I wanted.
You've given us.
It already ignores fog of war. More than that, I cannot do.
So, for reference, Scrappy is medium.
Okay. So yeah, you or Seeker could ride him.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, providing the mechanics don't disallow it. I don't actually know what class
It's a
feature
little
you're using.
inconvenient for me because he goes after me.
In fact, if you don't
So I'll ride
mind,
him.
because you are being an incredibly bad player right now and insisting on playing a character that's not in the player's handbook that I haven't read 6 million times.
Yeah.
Could you tell me the name of the class feature that lets you build this thing?
Yeah. I'll get my book in front of me.
I apologize. I've read the class, but it was several months ago now when I first got the book.
No,
I
it's a
would like
cool
to
new
look
feature.
that up.
I say we go down it for everyone.
I don't have the Artificer bookmark. Give me 1 second.
No, I've got the book here in front of me. I just need to know the name of the class feature.
Oh, it's the Battlesmith's level 3.
Battlesmith level.
It is called the Steel Defender.
Steel Defender. All right, let me find that. So there's the Alchemist, there's the Artillerist, and there's the Battlesmith.
Yep.
All right.
Science
Really?
Third level, your tinkering has borne you a faithful companion, a Steel Defender. So actually in the book, they're showing this image of like this dude with a hammer standing there next to Indiana Jones on one side. On the other side, he's got this like chrome mastiff
With the jowls, the lovingly crafted jowls.
Lovingly crafted jowls.
But yeah,
I love
mine's
it.
a metal giant badger.
The creature's game statistics. So it uses this stat block. Then you're not using the stat block of like an animal. Okay.
Yep.
This is a.
It's even very clear about that.
It doesn't give me an experience total for this creature.
It's challenge rating 0, yeah. Because it's not
I mean,
supposed
it's
to be an enemy.
From
No.
my perspective, it's a class feature for my character, but
Okay. So it shares your initiative count. It takes its turn immediately after yours. That makes sense. The only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action. It can move and use its reaction on its own. Unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take dash, disengage, help, hide, or search. So it sounds very familiar to like a ranger's pet.
it also has actions in its stat block that I can do on a bonus action, 2 additional ones.
Requires your bonus action. So Force Empowered Rend is a kind of a basic attack, and it can repair itself 3 times a day.
Or an adjacent construct or object.
Okay.
I have a question because does anybody else actually is this Steel Defender going to have the highest passive perception in the group?
Yes. And
What's the
you have to
passive
be
perception?
surprised.
It's exactly the same passive perception as Tony. And I'm not lying when I say that is the reason why I picked Tony.
Yeah, it has a passive perception of 14.
Oh, it actually goes up whenever Destil's
Yeah, it'll
proficiency
go up whenever
bonus
my
goes up.
proficiency increases.
And so
too.
then I can swap out my
All right.
guy for something else.
So we have what Scrappy is not a dog; he's a giant badger.
Giant mechanical badger. He's a mechanical giant badger. Probably looks like something between a cross and a badger and a wolverine. Alex was not particularly faithful to actual animal anatomy when building this.
Does Alex know actual animal anatomy?
A little. I mean, he knows what a badger looks like.
Yeah.
It's
Looking
like
at the
doing what a horse
That was
looks
another
like.
DeVry degree that he got.
looking at the front face of the house, on the other side of this overgrown garden, you see a small stone step leading up to a small landing in front of some double doors here.
Okay.
Nice.
There may have been windows at some point, but looking up at the manor house now, which seems to be in a sorry state of repair, it looks as though all of the windows have been bricked in.
Interesting.
This looks to be like the newest construction on the place, or these brick and mortar filling up the outward-facing windows on the face of the house. Other than that, it's a rectangular building, 2 stories, with an overgrown garden standing between you and it.
I'm thinking squatters. What do you think, guys?
You said the moss caps clear this place out every now and then?
They have been known to once in a while. They properties like this that they don't have like an official owner or anybody taking care of it will be used for illicit purposes. And sometimes if the moss caps get tipped off, they'll go in and chase the people out.
Well, so I have a question about the layout of this. You said it's built into a cliff?
Just behind the manor house would be the plateau that the temple district sits on. And this is pretty common. A lot of manor houses sit with their backs to these places. So effectively, the place won't have a backyard area. The gate that separates the yard from the road runs all the way back to this plateau. So there's no back gate either. There's no house on the other side of this.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I think we should send Tony around and see if there's a back door.
Yep, that was my statement. Is I'm going to send Tony up to see if there's any other entrances, like windows, second floor, like balcony, like back door, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And in doing so...
So actually, yeah, now thinking about it, it might be worth keeping Tony just because he can fly.
I can't see through Scrappy's eyes either.
So, there's not a backyard or garden as such. On either side of the house are some overgrown weeds that lead around the side. And in the back, you have a maybe 20 or 30, not even that much, maybe 20-foot gap between the back wall of the house and where the bottom of this plateau starts. And it's not natural down here. This stone has been carved away, so it looks really nice from this side. And you do see what looks to be a back service entrance. Actually, 2 of them. Where'd my revealer go?
I think you set it over there. Yeah, there it is. Revealenstein?
I didn't name it that. I'm assuming Nodal did. There's a side entrance.
Like me.
It's not an entrance to the house, but there's a chimney along the western wall over here.
Huh.
And then in the back of the house...
I do think I spy a door.
You see a door here that looks like it might have been a service entrance, but there's no actual door. Any door here has been torn off, and instead, the entryway has been completely bricked up.
Okay.
Above you, though, is a second floor balcony. And this would have been used for, at one point, there would have been maybe a ladder or some manner of connection between this balcony level and a path leading up into the temple district. That's not uncommon in houses in this area. However, any such connection here has long since been destroyed. In fact, looking at the actual cliff face there, you see where there might have been a switchback at one point, but it's no longer connected to this just badly weather-worn and dilapidated wooden balcony. However, there is a door up there connected to the inside of the manor, and that one looks to be just a regular door.
Okay. So
Is not
looks like
bricked.
we have 2 options to go in. The front door or the obviously hilarious.
Second floor door.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should, in keeping with the ruse, go up and knock on the front door.
I'm with you. I do want to send Tony up real quick to look into that chimney to see if it's bricked up on the inside like the back door.
Go for it.
You're sending Tony down
So
into the chimney?
Not into the chimney because I don't think he'll be able to fly back out.
No,
I
he
just
would
want him to like kind of look down into it to see if it looks like it's been bricked up.
The top of the chimney has not been bricked up.
Yeah.
But the chimney itself is too dark to give you any more information than that.
That's fine.
I can give you a magically candle bright stone to drop down it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And Tony will just drop a stone down the chimney.
Roll initiative.
And in doing so, you see that the stone lands in a bed of ash at the bottom of the chimney. Down in the hearth, wherever it is.
Does it look like the light gets cut off by the chimney itself having been bricked up from the bottom?
You'd have no way to tell that from
Okay.
above.
Is the ash like fresh enough to have embers in it?
I don't...
There's definitely no embers right now, no.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds all useful information, and from the inside we'll be able to get a good look at where that stone is. So I think front door sounds good to us.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Do we
So
knock?